Hello students, let us continue to study the chapter Statistics. In our previous classes, we have learnt about the representation of data by tables. Today, let us turn our attention to another method of representation of data, that is the graphical representation of data. Now, you must have heard a quote which says that one picture is better than 1,000 words. So instead of using tables, why not we represent the same data using graphs? So we've been learning about graphs from class 6. We learn graphs because the representation of data becomes very easy and we are also able to understand better rather than simply presenting the actual data. There are different methods of graphical representation of data. There is bar graph, there is a histogram and frequency polygon. So today we shall learn about bar graph. So even in our earlier classes, we have discussed and studied how to construct a bar graph. Now let us just recall what is a bar graph. So we know that a bar graph is a pictorial representation of data in which usually bars of uniform width are drawn with equal spacing between them on one axis. Say the x-axis depicting the variable. So here we can see that there is equal spacing between them. So this will be one bar of equal. Here also it will be equal, here also it will be equal, here also whatever width we are taking one place, it will be same throughout. Another thing to be kept in mind that the distance needs to be equal. So here, distance has to be same. So this is the x-axis that will depict one variable. Then the value of the variable are shown on the other axis, say the y-axis. This is the y-axis. Okay, and the heights of the bars depend on the values of the variable. So depending upon the values of the variables, the heights will vary. So here we can see it is at a higher position, here lower, a little bit more, and here highest. So this is how we can represent data. Now we will see a problem so that we can really get an in-depth understanding of how can we just represent data using a bar graph. So we are given an example in which a particular section of class 9, 40 students were asked about months of their birth and the following graph was obtained for the data. So we have the x-axis which depicts number of months of birth. So we have January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And we have the number of students. So we have from 0 to 7. So there are the number of students this way. Now we are told to observe the bar graph above and answer the following questions. So just looking at the bar graph, we are supposed to answer the question. Now, the first question, how many students were born in the month of November? So we go to November and we see, come to the y-axis and we see that there were 4 students who were born in the month of November. So, there were 4 students. So I'll write down that there were 4 students who were born in the month of November. Now, in which month were maximum number of students born? So you go and see here. The height is maximum in this case. So we just need to see the month and the month is August. So I write down that August there were maximum number of students who were born. Now in case you are just asked a question on the minimum number of students. So you can see minimum height is here So the month is June. So this way it becomes very easy to represent data, and it becomes easy for us to understand also the graph. Very easily we can say that how many students were there born in which particular month. Now, because this method is so easy, let us know how to draw a bar graph. We'll understand this how to draw a bar graph by example. So we have an example in which they have said a family with a monthly income of 20,000 planned expenditure and per month given different heads. So we have different heads like groceries and the expenditure in 1,000 rupees. So they have already told that 1,000 rupees. So groceries 4,000, rent 5,000, education of children 5,000, medicine 2,000, fuel 2,000, entertainment 1,000, and miscellaneous 1,000. We need to draw a bar graph. Now we represent the head, that is a variable on the horizontal axis. So children, this is the horizontal axis, which we call it as the x-axis. Okay. So here we represent the head. So this will be the grocery, rent, education of children, and all will come here. So this is the x-axis. Okay. Now any head we can choose. Okay. Since the width of the bar is not important, so we can choose any width of the bar. But now just to have a very uniform graph, what I will do is I will have uniform. 1 minute, this line is not come proper. So I will have uniform width. Width means the distance. Show it. Yeah. So this distance is called as the width. This distance is called as the width. So we have another bar of different height. So here also the width has to be the same, just so that it becomes uniform. Then we have the expenditure which is on the vertical axis. So we know this is the this is the vertical axis, that is the y-axis. So a nice neat graph will be shown to you. This is just given for your understanding. Now, to represent our head, that is grocery, we draw rectangular bars with width 1 unit and height 4 units. So the width is 1 unit. So we have taken about 1 centimeter, and the height is 4 centimeters, because we know that we spent 4,000 rupees on the grocery. Then the same way you proceed for rent, where we know they are spending, here it will be 1 centimeter, and here you have to put 5 centimeters. Then your education, again 1 centimeter, here this is the width, and 5 centimeters. Another thing, children, you should know that the distance between this and this, in case you're keeping 1 centimeter here also the distance should be same, that is 1 centimeter only. And also the distance here everywhere, okay, should be the same. Everywhere it should be 1, it should be uniform. So this way, if I represent the data, it looks very, very neat, and you can easily understand the data. In case I had to have a bar graph with one this way, something like this. So in case I had this way, and then the next one something like this, and the next one, no, it wouldn't have given a very clear image of what it is. So whenever we have to draw a bar graph, please keep this in mind that you have to draw this way and not this way. It has to be very, very uniform and neat. So children, whenever you're drawing a bar graph, you need to use a pencil and a ruler so that the bar graph looks neat and clean. Okay, also you may use a graph paper. It will be much more easier for you to draw. So we'll first take the problems from exercise 14.3. So the first problem that is a survey conducted by an organization for the cause of illness and death among women in the age group of 14 to 44 worldwide. Following figures, so causes and female fertility rate. One is reproductive health condition 31.8%, neuropsychiatric condition 25.4%, injuries 12.4%, cardiovascular conditions 4.3%, respiratory conditions 4.1%, other causes 22%. The first question is represent the information graphically. So we need to draw a bar graph. Now while drawing the bar graph, we know that the causes will be on the x-axis and female fertility rate will be on the y. Then we have another two questions which we will take later. One at a time, we will just represent the graph now. Now, while drawing the graph, we need to keep in mind all these values. This will come on the x-axis and this will be on the y-axis. So we need to know this is 31.8, 25.4, 12.4, 4.3, 4.1 and 22. I've already drawn the graph. Okay, so we knew that the reproductive health conditions was 31.8. With the scale here, it will be about 31. In the same way, I have left uniform spacing between these two. So this is about 2 centimeters. So whatever is convenient to you all can also use that distance only so that the graph is represented very well. Also, children, keep in mind the width has to be also the same. So in case if I choose the width to be 1 centimeter, everywhere it has to be 1 centimeter only. Here also it has to be 1. Here also it has to be 1. Okay, everywhere the width needs to be the same. Then we know that neuropsychiatric conditions was about 25.4. Then injuries was 12.4. I'll just write it down here so that you also know how I would do. So 12.4%. So we all need not write it, students, because it is already given there. I just wanted to show you all that you will keep your scale over here and you'll see. So this will be about 12.4. So from here. So that's how I'm able to get. So we'll keep a scale so that in which you are able to easily draw. So I've taken the scale from 0 to 5, 10, 15, 20, because we cannot keep on writing this number. Okay. So you'll need to write over here. So this is the graph. I will go to the second question. Which conditions is the major cause worldwide for the ill health and death? So we see the highest height is in case of reproductive health condition. So this will be the main cause of the death. So we say that reproductive health condition is a major cause of women's ill health and death worldwide. Let us see what is the third subpart to it. Try to find out with the help of your teacher any two factors responsible which play a major role in the cause in two, that is the reproductive health above given being the major cause. We will see what are the two factors which are responsible. First is lack of proper care and understanding. Many people do not take care of the pregnant lady, and lack of medical facilities. Maybe they do not have a hospital, basic medical facilities so that they can be catered. Now let us solve another problem. So this is the second problem from exercise 14.3. The following data on the number of girls to the nearest 10 per thousand boys in different section of Indian society is given. So this is the section and the number of girls per thousand boys. So we have SC, that is scheduled caste, 940, scheduled tribe 970, non-SC, ST 920, backward districts 950, non-backward districts 920, rural 930, urban 910. Now, first question is represent the given information by bar graph. So we will again use this information. So I know the section will come on the x-axis and the number of girls per thousand boys will be on the y-axis. We need to keep in mind these numbers while drawing the graph. So starting from 910 and ends at 970. We could start it with 880 and end with 980. And we know that scheduled caste was 940. Then scheduled tribe was 970. Then non-SC/ST 920. Backward districts 950. Non-backward was 920. Rural was 930 and urban was 910. So this way you have to represent the data. Now we have another question which is there, that is in the classroom discuss what conclusion can be arrived from the graph. If you'll see the graph, you can see is the highest height is in case of the scheduled tribe. Then we have the backward district. Then we have the scheduled caste. Then we have the rural. So we can thus conclude that maximum number of girls per thousand boys are present in the scheduled tribes, because we have already seen in case here the highest height was found in case of scheduled. We'll go to the next problem, the third problem. Given below are the seats won by different political parties in a polling outcome in state assembly election. So there are different parties like A, B, C, D, E, F, and the seat won 75, 55, 37, 29, 10, 37. Draw a bar graph to represent the polling result. So again, we know the polling parties will be the x-axis and the seats won will be on the y-axis. So I will draw the graph. On the x-axis, I have the political parties as I have represented, and the seats won are on the y-axis. So now A is 75, so about here. So midweight will be somewhere here. Then I have B, which is 55, again somewhere in between here. Then 37, so somewhere here. Then 29 should be somewhere here. Then 10, so then this is 10, and 37. So 37 would be somewhere here. So this is the graph. See? which political party won the maximum number of seats. So we see that we can say that political party A has won the maximum number of seats. So this was all about the bar graph. In today's class, we learned about the graphical representation of data by a bar graph. We learned how to interpret the data which is given in it, and also we learned how to draw a bar graph from the given data. Thank you, students.